Hello, I'm Mary Williams. I'm the Associate Dean Students for the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and that is where your application has ended up at one of our 4 schools. Now, within those 4 schools, we have about 6,000 students. Each year, we have over 1,000 students starting undergraduate study with us. And I'm going to tell you just a very little bit about the faculty so you can understand a little bit more when making your decision. So firstly, we have the 4 schools that I mentioned: ICJS, the Institute of Criminal Justice Studies, School of Languages and Applied Linguistics, where all our language courses are based, the School of Education and Sociology, which is fairly self-explanatory, along with the School of Area Studies, History, Politics and Literature. Now, within those 4 schools, we have about 6,000 students. That's at all levels. Starting undergraduate study each year, we have over 1,000 students. Now, one of the things that obviously is concerning to parents is always waving goodbye and your child, brother, sister, loved one starting university. Now, obviously, in the current circumstances that we've been experiencing over the past year, that may be even more of a concern. So I wanted to talk to you about the way that we have ensured that our students are still learning and have not been disadvantaged. The university as a whole introduced something called blended and connected learning. So this meant that when we weren't in lockdown, that the students had a mix of face-to-face and online learning. And we've spent an awful lot of time in developing very good resources for those online learning. And it's fair to say that when we surveyed our students midway through the first teaching block, which runs until just the end of January, that they were very pleased with what had been done. There were lots of online forums for discussion. They appreciated the recording of lectures. Some of those were delivered live by the lecturers, some were recorded. But either way, they liked the fact that they could pause and take notes, rewind, and perhaps go back to a part where they hadn't actually grasped the essentials the first time around. We know that the past year has been tough. It's presented new challenges for all of us, and that obviously includes the students. As a university, we've invested considerably to support our students in that. We've spent over £8 million in making the campus COVID safe. We've spent £250,000 in student wellbeing to support either in-person or digital support for student wellbeing. We've purchased extra ebooks for students who can't physically get to the library. We knew that this was going to be a tough year for students joining us because they'd been out of structured education, in some cases, for quite a long time, since March, and obviously hadn't sat the A-levels and the BTECs that they were expecting to. So we set up and introduced 3 online modules for students to take part in to support that transition to learning across the institution. We work very hard each year to help that transition from school, college to university, and for those who've been out of learning for some time. Each student with us at the university has a dedicated personal tutor, and that personal tutor in most cases stays with them through the first 2 years of their study. In some cases, they may stay with them the whole 3 years. And they are there to provide pastoral support as well as academic support. So the students know that they've got a dedicated point of contact, somebody that they will get to know really well across the years. I've been teaching at the university since 2007, and I absolutely love the fact that I have personal tutees who I'm still in touch with, mainly through the wonders of social media. And it's just it's a fabulous relationship, and one we're really proud of at the university, that we do put a lot of effort into our personal tutor system to ensure that from day one the students know who their personal tutor is, and that personal tutor puts in a lot of time with them to support them in their studies and any other aspect that may impact on their studies. So how do we support the students who are studying here? Well, we have what's called learning development tutors in each of our schools, and they are there to give support in case it is needed in terms of an assessment, and that might be for those students who are aiming for a first and want to just hit that boundary between the 67s, 68s and getting into the 70s. Or it might be somebody who has struggled to pass an assessment the first time round and is getting support from the tutor. Students that come to the University of Portsmouth are taught by staff who are research active and experts in their fields, as well as highly skilled practitioners who may have come from their particular sphere of expertise to pass on their knowledge and expertise to the students. In the last REF, which is the survey that is carried out every 6 or 7 years on the quality of research in universities throughout the UK, a high percentage of our research was deemed internationally important. And that comes from a variety of our schools, and it covers a range of topics from violence against women and girls in developing countries to research into policing by our colleagues at the Institute of Criminal Justice Studies, research into celebrity and citizenship, just to name a few. It's really important to us what students think, and we survey them and ask them quite a lot of times. Students get to give feedback on every module that they are taught, at the midway point, halfway through the module, and then at the end as well. And so we can find out what's been the most valuable aspect, what they've particularly enjoyed, and what we could do, if possible, to enhance it for the next cohort of students. We take the views of students very seriously. We're really proud that our NSS, National Student Survey scores, have been consistently above the sector for the past few years. In this faculty, we had 89% student satisfaction when our level 6 students, that's our final year students, were surveyed last year. And that's a tribute to all the work that the staff put in with the students. Some of you watching may not have been able to visit Portsmouth or may not be familiar with the city. So what can I tell you about Portsmouth? Well, it's the UK's only island city, and that means that we've got miles and miles of lovely beach for the students to explore or swim in the sea. And we've got lots of green space. We are very lucky that we have a common, Southsea Common, which is very close to a lot of the halls of residence, and in the summer is full of picnicking, students barbecuing and impromptu games of football, etc. And it's a really lovely space for people to go and take a book or just the headphones and listen to some music or a podcast. The city is very welcoming. The university is a big part of the city, and we're firmly embedded within that culture of the city. The city really comes to life when the university students are here. There have been various surveys on the affordability of different cities in the UK, and I'm pleased to say we came out very, very close to the top for the affordability of a city for students to live in. We've got Gunwharf Quays, which is a retail shopping centre, shopping and entertainment centre, I should say, which is just a stone's throw away from the main university campus. And that's very good for students to get part-time jobs in retail, as well as having a nightclub, cinema, bowling alley, etc. And lots of places to shop, of course. and eat lots of restaurants. Now, of course, you may already be thinking about your son, daughter's employability and how this will pan out for their future career after they've finished studying. I'd like to reassure you that all our courses bear that in mind. We have an academic enrichment programme across the faculty where we have speakers coming in or lecturers from other parts of the university or other parts of the faculty, or employers coming in and talking to the students. So we're really keen to bring in that experience of what life is like in the real world outside academia and support them in their choices towards employment. We have a very successful placement year where students have the opportunity to do a year in a paid role between their second and their third year, but just before their final year. And we have a placement and internship centre in the faculty that supports students who are undertaking the process of trying to find somewhere for their placement year, and also supports them while they are out on their placement as well. Now, if you have any further questions, there's an opportunity to ask those to the course teams in the chat, or head across to the Student Life booth where either myself or one of the fellow Associate Dean students from one of the other faculties will be there and very happy to answer your questions. So finally, I'd just like to say, I really hope that you enjoy the day today. There's lots of talks to listen to, and you've got a timings sheet in front of you and they are live, so don't be late. But I really hope that you enjoy the experience today. Of course, we'd like to be welcoming you to our buildings in real life, but we hope that we can give you a flavour of what it's like to be part of the University of Portsmouth. And I very much hope that you and the applicants that you are supporting will decide after today that you want to be a part of the University of Portsmouth community. Thank you very much for watching this.